Well, I'm back with Suzy West, and she is an embossing expert, and she has some ideas for all sorts of effects you can get. So Suzy, tell me, what have you used on this adorable cloud tag right here?
Well, I use the regular embossing powder.
And you can see that because it's a really fine sort of powder.
Right, the grain is just regular, and that's probably what most people use.
Mm-hmm. And then next up, I see you've got some glitter going on.
Well, this is embossing glitter. It's a little bit different. The glitter is already part of the embossing powder, so when you heat it up, it stays on there and it won't come off.
And this one, I noticed the flower and the edge of the tag, it just has so much dimension and texture. What's that?
Right, that's using an ultra high. You can see that the grain is a lot thicker than the other ones.
And then this one here, which is so matte, and it's perfect for this boy tag. What's that?
Right. Now this is a puff powder, and it just gives off a really cool grunge look. And I love this. I love this powder. It's just really fun to play with.
Me too, and I can see using that in my art journal and all sorts of stuff all the time.
Right, exactly.
And today you're going to show us how to do the flower, right? How to give it all that dimension.
Right.
Well, tell me.
So what we're going to do is I just started off with a 4x4 piece of paper, and I cut it into a spiral.
And I like that it's a messy spiral. You didn't worry too much, you just played with it.
Nope, and then I just kind of rounded the edges. And then once I did that, I folded it and I went all the way around.
You know, I always say your fingers are the best crafting tools that you have.
I do too, I agree. So once I got it to be where I wanted it, I used,
lovely.
Isn't it pretty? I just used some regular adhesive and then held onto it for a little bit. Now this looks pretty just like this, but once we add some embossing to it, it's just gonna give it a nice pizzazz.
I love that. So do we need to add anything to the paper before we can emboss?
What we're going to do is we're going to use a watermark pad and press down really hard onto the paper. And don't worry about it getting ruined. The neat thing about this is that the flower is supposed to look kind of grungy and fun. Mm-hmm. So now do me a favor, pick one that you like and let's see how it looks.
Come on, you know I got to go for the glitter.
I knew you were going to say that. So here, we're going to just press down on here. And then just
shake off the excess there.
Any extras. And look at how pretty that looks already.
Oh, it's beautiful already, just like that.
Already. So, you know, my tips is that you have to let this heat up.
Preheat your heat gun. You know, I've never done that, but I'm definitely going to go home and try it because I have had issues where things seem to blow or they burn, and that's a really great tip.
Right. By just letting it heat up for just a few, like about a minute, it'll be perfect for you to emboss on. So now you just take that. And you can see
the flower's blowing away a little bit. Be careful of your fingers.
Yeah. And I'm just going to go around, and you can see that the embossing is changing. It's setting.
Yeah, you can watch it right before your eyes. And now it's going to be on there permanently.
Yeah, on permanently.
So cool.
Isn't that pretty?
It is.
So all I did afterwards was add a little bit of adhesive and poured it right into the flower.
With those pretty seed beads or whatever,
just pearls. Little pearls, and we're going to pretend that I just
glued them right in there.
Just throw that in there.
You know, it almost reminds me of a bird's nest or something fun like that.
Isn't that cute? You can totally do that.
And I know that you brought some other projects that also show things off, like this journal, which I adore. And the edge on that is so beautiful. It looks like it was gilded or something.
Right.
How did you do that?
I did the same technique here where I put some watermark pad onto the edges and then poured some of the embossing with glitter. And if you'll notice, even the ribbon on the top has that.
I know, that's amazing because it's so transparent.
Right.
And how did you not burn that ribbon or make it shrink or anything?
Well, actually, that was the effect that I wanted to give, and I didn't do it as much, but I did want it to shrink down a little bit. But if you emboss it really fast, it won't do that.
So it's like a twofer technique. If you do want it to shrink, you actually get both at the same time.
Exactly.
What a great idea. And then I know on this larger book, you have some cool stuff too. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so on that one, I used a doily, just a regular doily, and used the watermark pad the same way as I did before, and used some of the embossing powder, embossed it, and it looks so pretty.
That is really cool. I have to ask you about the clouds now.
Oh, I love the clouds. I love clouds. So it's just using the embossing with glitter. We put a template over that, and then once you use the template, go over it with the watermark pad, and then pour the embossing with glitter on top, shake off the excess and then emboss.
You know, Suzy, I'm going to start calling you the embossing fairy. This has been fantastic.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.